Self-briefing.
You can have your own briefing for like engine failures on takeoff or whatever. If we lose an engine on takeoff, I'll show you how to crash this thing. And walk away from it.
Radio, nav, and transponder.
Yep, so radio's good. Nav we're not using. Transponder's on.
Okay.
You want 1200 for VFR and altitude mode for altitude encoding.
Okay.
Alright, and then doors and windows is up to you where you put those and your beacons on.
Alright. So
Mayor likes to turn the landing light on during the day. I don't use it. That's up to you.
Okay.
Alright?
Alright.
So now you can set that down.
54, we're going to climb out at 67.
Yep, and you can go ahead and pull ahead. That's Kyle Brady. He used to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That is Kyle Brady.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a hangar over here.
Nice. I didn't know he flew.
He's a super nice guy, too.
Really? I've met him a couple times.
Yeah. All right, so you can pull up and make a right here. Kyle's still doing his run-up. So, yep, just give it, release the brakes, go straight ahead and make a right turn on the orange taxiway centerline stripe. Oh, he's going now. We'll let him go.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Tower, Cirrus 816, Charlie Delta, ready for takeoff, 32.
Yeah, I just met him
Cirrus 816,
recently.
Charlie Delta, Craig.
Super nice guy.
32, I'll get you
I had no clue he flew. You know, Paul Leslie's working on his
release,
pilot license as well.
Is he really? All right, so now you can pull up behind Kyle there, and we'll call ready when we get up to the hold short line.
Cirrus 816, Charlie Delta, turn right heading 010, maintain 3000, runway 32, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 32, clear for takeoff, and upon departure, right turn to 010.
And we'll stop on this side of the hold short line. And now we'll call ready here. He's going to tell us to hold short, but if you want to call the tower?
Sure.
Just say Tower 2 Sierra Juliet's ready at 3-2. So you're going to press this button, say Tower 2 Sierra Juliet's ready at 3-2.
Tower Cessna 2 Sierra Juliet's ready at runway 2?
3-2.
3-2, runway 3-2.
Tower for runway 32, hold short.
Just say hold short 2 Sierra Juliet.
Hold short 2 Sierra Juliet.
Yeah, when he heard you unkey the mic, he started talking, then we keyed up over top of him.
Yeah.
That's okay. So Kyle's going to go. As soon as he goes, he's probably going to clear us because it doesn't look like there's anybody else coming.
That is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cessna 2 Sierra Juliet, runway 32, you can turn left on course southbound, clear for takeoff.
Okay, so clear for takeoff 3-2, we'll turn left, 2 Sierra Juliet. Clear for takeoff 3-2.
Clear for takeoff 3-2, Sierra Juliet, 2 Sierra Juliet.
Good, all right, now you're good to go, but I still look both ways to make sure it's clear. And it's clear left and clear right, so what you're going to do is just follow this taxiway centerline stripe, Garfield, and then we're just going to make a left turn onto the center of the runway. And then I want you to fly this thing just like you flew all the other airplanes. Once you lift off, I want you to put the horizon right on top of these instruments.
Okay.
Right here. That'll give you 67. You can verify that looking at your airspeed indicator. Again, we're clear right, and we're clear left. Yep,
just
so put it right in between the two numbers, and you can just roll.
Cirrus 816, Charlie Delta, your right turn, contact Jack's departure. Get extra.
Remember, it's all feet on the ground, right? Just think feet, feet, feet.
Right.
All right, so full power, no brakes, and just think feet only. Paint that center line with your feet, all the way in with the power. Now you'll get real good steering control now with your feet, with the airflow. And then right about here, we give it a little wheelie.
Right.
Just make it a little wheelie like that.
Right.
And then just let it come off when it's ready. Now put the horizon right here and see what you get, and then make a little adjustment as needed to get your 67 knots. You're at 67 right there. That's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at your airspeed. So again, as long as you put that horizon where you know it should be, you won't need this airspeed indicator to tell you what your airspeed is. Nice job on that departure. Alright, we can go ahead and turn here. So raise your left wing up and look underneath of it. Raise it way up there. Get a good look behind you and underneath of it. Okay. Clear left, except for a bird. Go ahead and make a left turn to 180 on the heading.
Alright, left turn to 180.
Yep, and we're going to try to hold 67 knots or close to it until we get up to at least 1,000 feet. Just relax and have fun here. Don't overthink this.
Alright.
People think too much and it messes up their flying. Yeah, we're going to follow that 4-lane. That's going to take us south.
Okay.
That's 295.
Oh, is it?
Have you flown over Jacksonville before?
I haven't. Wow, those towers are up pretty
Yeah, we stay away from those guys.
good.
Old timers call those meat hooks.
All right, 180.
All right, good deal. All right, nice job on the pitch, man. Now that VY speed, you only need to climb at that VY speed until you're high enough to where if you lose an engine, you can make a safe landing.
Right.
So, one of the things that, or I should say several things that you gain once you reach a safe altitude like this, by lowering the nose now, we get a better look for traffic, we get where we're going quicker, and we also cool the engine a little better.
Okay, because air is coming straight into that induction.
Yeah, so
I can probably trim it down some, huh?
Yeah, if you let go of the control, what happens?
It's wanting to come up.
Yeah, so put the nose maybe right there.
Okay.
And what I want you to do here is use just your palm of your hand. Push forward on the yoke. You see where the nose is right on the horizon?
Right.
All right, push on that yoke. Push harder. Push harder, 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 right there.
Right.
See that?
Right.
Now, roll that wheel up
Papa.
until you don't feel any pressure on your hand. And the nose stays right there. Now when you take your hand off, what happens?
Still coming
A little
up.
more, so yep. Now take your hand off. That's how you trim an airplane.
Nice.
You put the nose where you want it, and then you trim until you can take your hand off and the nose doesn't move from where you want it.
Nice.
Now, hook your finger, a couple of fingers on this thing. I'm going to trim it way down. Now hold that nose on the horizon right there. Same thing. Now roll that wheel down until you don't feel any pressure on your hand. Keep the nose right on the horizon. Now just keep pulling until you feel no pressure on your hand. That's how you trim an airplane. So from this moment forth, if you're fighting the airplane because you haven't trimmed, right?
Right.
You don't need to ask me to trim it. Just go ahead and trim it. I trim all the time. I trim it every time I change speeds. I trim the airplane. There's a good look at Navy Jacks. Cecil is hard to see. It's way out there. There's
Correct ground 449 Juliet
downtown.
Golf.
Yeah.
Remember 449 Juliet Golf. This is Craig
And
Tower.
then this is Beach Boulevard right here.
I thought I hit the front.
Okay.
Going out to
You
the
were right.
And this is Butler Boulevard right
I'm
here.
working the other frequency too, but I need to talk to you on ground so I can keep them separated.
That'll work. Yeah, I'll be right here.
You know what? It's weird flying around here because I can recognize stuff, whereas when I'm in Tennessee, I don't recognize anything because I don't know the area.
Right, because you don't know the area as well, yeah.
Right. The difference definitely is.
And that way on the horizon there, that power plant stack with the smoke coming out of it, that's Palatka.
Okay. Wow.
There's the Buckner Bridge.
Okay.
And then if you look down the intercoastal waterway down there where it fades into kind of the haze,
Right.
that's St. Augustine.
Right. So is this where your practice area is at, or where?
Yeah, down here over this forest.
This patch?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, go left just a little bit. Here's the Butler and 295.
Okay.
And there's the St. John's Town Center.
Okay.
All right, now lower the nose a little bit.
All right.
And now throttle back to about 2100 because we're not in a hurry.
Moby-1.
Normally we'll cruise around when we're going somewhere. We'll cruise at like 2400 RPM, but we're not in a hurry. So go ahead and bring your power back to about 21 or so. There you go. Now put the nose right there, and that'll give you level flight.
Okay.
Now if you let go of the control and it goes up or down, you can trim. So trim for level flight now. There you go. Perfect. Now Now you can literally fly it with 2 fingers. If your nose comes up above the horizon, just drop it. There you go. Right there. Now you can, if you take your hands off, see now you're trimmed for level flight. Dead on.
Yep, right at 0.
Yep. Now remember when we were talking about if we throttle back, watch what happens to the nose.
It drops.
And then it'll speed up, and then it'll come up a little bit. It'll do that oscillation, and if we speed it up, right, more downforce on the tail.
Right. Now
watch what happens. If you just don't do a thing, watch what happens. Airspeed drops, downforce on the tail decreases, nose comes down.
So essentially, it's almost stalling itself, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, it's just finding its equilibrium. And if I go back to 2100 RPM, I didn't change the trim. It should find level flight again. It might take a little while, but it'll find it. Okay. Now, let me take the flight controls. I'm going to show you that adverse yaw thing. I'm just going to slow it down a little bit.
All right.
And what I want you to do, Garfield, is look over the nose, side over one of those fasteners with the 4-lane highway there.
Okay.
And now, I'm going to roll left and right without using the rudder pedals, which is the wrong way to fly. Watch what the nose does. Watch when I roll right. Watch where the nose goes.
Oh, wow.
And watch when I roll left. It goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
Now watch when I start using the rudder pedals. It stays on, and that's why we use the rudder pedals. Okay, because of that adverse yaw.
Yeah.
Now you only have that adverse yaw when you actually have deflected ailerons. Once you've established the bank and you neutralize the ailerons, okay, now I don't need any rudder.
Right.
Because I don't have any differential aileron, I'm not creating that adverse yaw. When I roll back wings level, I need left rudder. When I roll this way, I need left rudder. When I roll back to the right, if I don't use rudder, look where the nose goes. See, it goes the wrong way.
Right. It wants to swing out.
And you notice that I slow it down because you notice that a lot more at low speed. Okay. But if I use rudder pedals and I keep that ball centered with my feet, right, step on the ball.
Right.
So you can try that. You can try that. Go ahead and take the controls. Try rolling left and right with no rudder.
I have the controls.
Yep. You have flight controls. Roll left. See the nose go right now. Roll hard right. Look where the nose goes.
Swings right back out the other way.
Now roll hard left. Look where it goes.
Yeah.
Now try using your feet with it. So if you roll right, use right rudder. Roll left, use left rudder. That's why we have our feet. You want to think about a control rod connected from this to your knees. So if this comes down a little, your left knee goes in a little.
Okay.
If this goes down a lot, your left leg goes in a lot.
Okay.
Because the more aileron deflection you have, the more adverse yaw you have, the more rudder you need to offset it.
Right. Makes sense.
All right, now, when you're down near the ground, we want to bring the flaps up slowly when we recover the flaps because it'll sink.
Right.
Up here, it's not going to hurt us, so I just want to show you this is what happens if you bring the flaps up too fast. You won't really drop too much, but you feel it sink.
Right.
So that's why when you're doing a go-around, you don't want to bring the flaps up all at once. You want to bring them up slowly.
Well, that's because you're changing basically the airfoil of the wing.
Yeah, you're changing the lift profile of the wing, and you're dumping a lot of lift when you bring those flaps up.
Right.
And if you're near the ground and you dump too much, it'll sink into the ground. So if you have to do a go-around, like if you're doing a landing and you don't like where it's going and you go full throttle and go around, you bring those flaps up slowly. You come up just one notch at a time.
Right.
Because of that sink that you get.
Right.
All right, let's go ahead out over to the beach here. So when you have a high wing airplane, you always want to raise that wing first. Take a look and just verbally declare clear left.
All right, it's clear.
All right, clear left. Go ahead and make a left turn to an east heading. 090. The stuff that I've shown you so far, that's everything there is to know about the basic operation of the airplane. Pitch, power, and trim. And then use your feet when you're deflecting the ailerons.
Right.
And everything else is just, up, down, left, right, and then yaw. It doesn't get any more complicated than that.
No. Actually, a lot's coming back to me too, though.
Yeah, it'll come back quick. Now you see we got temp now.
Yep. Coming up in the green.
All of your performance, your airspeed and your vertical speed, is all a function of pitch, and power. That's all that controls it. Pitch and power controls everything. And then you trim so you don't have to sit there and fight the controls, right?
Right.
All right, now let's take a look at these little indexes, these little marks on the attitude indicator.
Right.
go ahead and go wings level.
All right.
Now, if you roll to that first mark, go ahead and make a, let's clear, it's clear to the left. Go ahead and make a roll to that first mark.
Is it 10 degrees
That's
or is
10.
it? Yeah, 10.
Go to the next one. That's 20.
Okay.
Go to the next one. Pull just a little bit as you go to the next one. Pull just a little bit. That's 30.
Okay.
And then halfway between that one and the next big one,
45.
is 45. Now, put the horizon right in the middle of the nose. Look outside and put that horizon right in the middle of the nose.
Wow. That's 45.
Yep. Now, is your horizon right in the middle of the nose?
It is.
All right. Look at this.
Wow.
Didn't I tell you that would work?
Now, why aren't we going up or down?
Because you got the pitch correct. Watch this. Let go of the control. Look at this thing. It'll do a turn to the standards with trim. Hands off.
Oh my God.
Now it's climbing just a little bit. I think that's a thermal. But you see where the horizon is?
Yeah.
Now, if you put that horizon above the nose, look what happens.
We're descending.
Yep. And if you put that horizon below the nose, you're going to get a climb.
Right.
Now, if you do the same thing going to the right, but put the horizon on the left curve of the nose. Try that without looking at the instruments. Just go ahead and roll to the right. And put the nose where the horizon is just on the left curve of the nose.
I'm pretty much there.
Yep, little more bank. Look at that. You see that?
Right.
That's why you look outside when you do steep turns. Because like I said, the stuff that's going to kill you is out here. Right? The other airplanes and the ground and the clouds.
Right.
But look at this.
Climbing a little bit.
Yep, you can go a little more bank. That's 30 degrees. Go a little more. Go all the way to 45. Halfway between these two big marks.
Oh, that scares the hell out of me. Oh my God.
Well, if it's bugging you, you can level the wing.
No, I'm good.
Very nice job.
I've just never done that before. I feel like I'm at a 90 almost.
Yep, feel like you're in a little G-load. All right, you can go ahead and level the wings and just aim for the coal plant way up there on the horizon. Now remember, as we rolled into the turn, we had to pull, right?
Right.
So when you roll out, you got to push. And remember, where your nose is relative to the horizon tells you everything. And what I want you to do now, Garfield, is I want you to trim the airplane so that this is on 0.
All right.
With the wings level. Now, you see the distance between the horizon and the nose?
Yeah.
If you put that nose at that particular reference mark, now you notice how the nose is above the horizon?
Right.
Look what you got.
I climb.
Now, bring the nose back down a little bit. Right there. Put it right there. And whatever Garfield is seeing right now,
right,
that's the level flight sight picture.
Okay.
And if you take your hands off, if the nose comes up, just trim it down a little bit. There you go. Try that.
That
right about.
Just about there.
Right about there. Look at that. So whatever you're seeing right there, that's level flight.
Right.
And you don't need any of this stuff to tell you how to fly the airplane. Everything you need is right out there. You got it trimmed. You can literally fly it with 2 fingers. You know, and then after that, it's headings and altitudes. Just holding heading and altitude.
That's the first time I ever did steep turns. I mean, that's wicked. You feel a little,
yeah, because you're pulling a little bit of G when you're doing that, because you got to pull a little to keep it from dropping, because the more you bank, the more you got to pull to hold altitude.
Yeah, but I mean, we let go, and it's holding its turn.
Yeah, well, that's because I had it trimmed.
Yeah.
If you do a bank, if you trim for level flight, if you then do a 45-degree bank turn, you're going to have to pull. If you let go then, it's going to dive on you a little bit.
Right.
Not a lot, but this won't stay on 0. You'll start to descend.
Now we're at 2,900.
Yep.
Heading, I guess 0, right at 010.
Yep, almost due north. Now you get a good look at the area. There's downtown. The international airport is that last light spot.
Yep.
And then you've got the Dames Point Bridge.
Okay.
My favorite bridge. I love all the bridges in this city, but that's the first one I saw when I moved here.
Really?
My favorite bridge. And then the power plant. And then up the beach up there, that's Fernandina Beach or Amelia Island.
Right.
And then Mayport Naval Air Station's right here. You see the runway going that way?
Oh, I do.
Where the St. John's dumps into the ocean?
Yeah.
I'd like to depart westbound.
And then this is Butler, Beach, Atlantic, and then the heck is the name of the road that goes to Mayport? I forget the name of it. I never remember the name of that road. Whatever, you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah. Very nice. This thing flies a lot like the 172, but it feels different than the other one I've flown. It's been a while, I guess.
Well, we're lucky. This one was straight as an arrow when we bought it. We looked hard for this airplane. We had leased a Warrior, a Piper Warrior, when we got here, because when we got here a year ago, the government was shut down. We couldn't buy an airplane because the title search, the banks won't give you a loan for a plane without a title search, and the title searches go through the federal office in Oklahoma City. So we leased an airplane. We found this one down in near Daytona at a little grass strip called Pearson, and we bought it. It's been a great little airplane.
Now that's Craig Airfield.
Yep.
Now how high above Craig do we have to be without contacting the tower?
Their airspace stops at 2,500.
Okay, so we're above their airspace.
Yeah, we're 500 feet above it.
Let me try that. I'm gonna try that 45 again.
Yep.
It scares the hell out of me.
That's okay. Pull a little more. Remember, bring that horizon up to the left side of the cow.
To the nose. That's right.
There you go. There's 45 right there.
That's 45.
Yep.
It's still descending about 500 feet a minute.
So just pitch up just a little bit, right about there. There you go. Nice job. Oh, it's so bad, wasn't it?
No.
They get a little easier each time you do them.
7 Sierra Golf, Roger, I'll start working on that release.
Right to the left.
Okay, now this time you want the horizon right in the middle of the nose, so go ahead and roll to 45 here.
Now why does that change?
Because you're not sitting in the center of the airplane.
Okay.
You have an offset view of the nose, that's why it's different left and right.
Okay.
If you were in a plane like a decathlon where you're seated or a Cub, where you're seated in the center of the airplane, that looks going to be the same left or right.
Okay, left to 280.
We're in a good 45 right now.
Yep.
Well, we were.
And look at that, you got a nice, perfectly level turn going, man.
I got plenty of space there if you want to back pass him.
Sierra Golf, thanks.
Nice job. Now you'll get thermals from time to time that will cause this to change when you're not changing your pitch.
Right.
So it's not always, this is not always the pilot. It could be the thermals.
Right, bumping you up and down.
But if you look at that horizon and you put that horizon where it should be relative to the nose, whether you're in straight and level flight or you're in a 67 knot climb or you're in a steep turn to the left or right, if you put that nose relative to the horizon in the right spot, you'll nail those maneuvers every time. And it's 10 times easier than trying to do them looking at this stuff.
That's what I was always doing.
Well,
I think it's
a common mistake that people try to fly the maneuvers looking inside. Your eyes should be outside the cockpit 95% of the time, and then when you need to check something like altitude or heading or vertical speed, yeah, you take a quick look at it, but then look back outside.
Right.
Because the maneuvers are much easier done looking outside rather than inside. There's Mayport.
Yep. The boat leaving now. How far out? You can't go towards the Dames Point, right?
Well, we could, but we just have to call. You can go up to it, but you can actually over here. That bridge, see where Blunt Island is?
Right.
That little bridge there at Sisters Creek, you can't go more than about a half mile past that unless you call them, because if you look at the airport, it's basically a 10 nautical mile ring around the airport.
Right.
It comes right up just to the other side of that bridge. And then it sweeps out here so that if you go to the double bridges here at Amelia Island,
I was just waiting for you to tag up, and it just happened when you come over there.
then you're outside their airspace as well. I'll show you that because when you get soloed, we'll give you an endorsement to go up to Fernandina Beach, and that's how you can get up to Fernandina Beach without having to call Jack's Approach. But calling Jack's Approach and asking for a transition is just as easy as calling Craig Tower and asking for a clearance to take off.
Right.
All you're doing is calling them and telling them who you. It's like ordering a pizza. Who are you? Where are you? And what do you want?
Right.
Right. Pizza for delivery, I should say. Who are you? Where are you? And what do you want? That's the information they need.
Now I can turn back to the right here.
Yep, you're above, because again, as long as you're above 2,500, right here, if we go below 2,500, we're in their airspace.
Back here, it's ready to go.
And again, we can do that, but we got to call them first.
Right.
Because you can't go in their airspace unless you.
Remember, 861 Quebec Sierra, correct.
Ask them first.
Runway 32. Left turn on course southbound is approved. Clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 32, and left turn out, 861 Quebec Sierra.
Are we up high enough for you to show me a stall?
You bet. Absolutely. You want to show me one? Why don't we do one together?
Alright.
Alright, so what we do when we do these maneuvers, and I'm going to talk you through everything before we do it, and the stalls in this plane are very docile.
Right.
Have you done many of those?
A few.
Okay.
Very
so
little.
all it's going to do is the nose is just going to bob.
Right.
The first one we'll do, you're going to hear the horn. We're going to drop the nose before it stalls. We're not going to let it stall.
Okay.
The second one, we're going to let it stall and recover on its own. We're going to do nothing, and you can see this plane will recover all on its own.
Right.
Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a couple of clearing turns left and right to make sure there's nobody near us.
Okay.
Early turnout's approved if you want it.
Go ahead and make a left turn to about a 90-degree left turn, 90-degree heading change left turn. And then when you level the wings, heading east here, we'll look, because a lot of guys fly up and down the coast, so it's like a highway, because everybody follows the coast, so you want to make sure nobody's around. All right, actually, let's keep going to the north here. We'll go back to a north heading, and we'll start slowing it down. I'm going to bring the carb heat out. I'm going to bring the power back to about 1500. I'm going to put the flaps down.
Should we lower the nose since that airspeed's dropping?
No, you don't need to yet. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to hold this, and as soon as you hear the horn, we're going to lower the nose a little bit. So just bring the nose up with me a little bit. When you hear the horn, you're going to lower the nose, and that's going to reduce the angle of attack and cause it to not want to stall.
Right.
Now this time, we're going to let it stall, but we're going to let it recover on its own. All it's going to do is the nose is going to bob. Didn't even stall yet.
Jeez, look at the airspeed.
Yep. Some days it won't stall. So the plane doesn't even want to stall, so I'm going to pop it into the stall a little bit. I'm just going to give it a little more pull. Right. It's trying to stall. Some days it doesn't want to stall.
That is crazy.
It is. I'll get it to stall this time. Right.
There it goes.
There. Right there. And it recovers all on its own.
Yeah.
But the full recovery is you lower the nose, you add full power,
Right.
carb heat in, and again, flaps up slowly. You go to 20 without delay, 20 degrees of flaps, and then you bring the nose up, and when this is positive, and that's more than 60, you go to 10. Then you wait, feel it sink a little, positive rate, 60, 0.
Okay. And that's kind of your process for changing the flaps. So
Yep.
positive rate of climb
It's
and above
69.
60.
Yep. So
Okay.
you initially, when you do a power off stall, you stall it with the flaps all the way down, carb heat out, power back. So your best result to unstall the plane is to lower the nose and add full power.
Right.
Power, then carb heat, which will give you 200, another 150, 200 RPM, and then flaps up because you don't want to try to climb out with full flaps.
Okay.
This plane will barely climb with full flaps, fully loaded. But you saw how it doesn't even want to stall.
Yeah, and that was a power off stall.
That was a power off stall.
Right.
Now the power on stall, again, if we look around a little bit, these airplanes don't like just stall, they don't like sneak up on you and stall out of nowhere.
Right.
You gotta have your head way up your butt to stall the airplane unintentionally. So if we slow the plane down, when we do the power on stall, we slow it down to 60 because we're simulating a stall on takeoff.
Takeoff, right.
So we get it to 60. This time we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just hear the horn, we're gonna lower the nose. So here we are taking off, and we get the nose too high. You want that nose up just enough to keep the airspeed dropping. This is where you got need a lot of right rudder because of the high angle of attack. There's your horn, hear it?
Right.
And if you just lower the nose, it will never stall. Now this time we'll let it stall. If we get a little wing drop, don't let it freak you out.
I won't.
Just go right rudder, and it levels itself.
Wow.
It's hard to do a power on stall and not have a wing drop.
Right.
But what you don't want to do, what's causing that is we don't have the ball perfectly centered.
Right.
So if one wing drops in a stall, like if the left wing drops, if you do this, you're going to pull yourself further to the left because of that adverse yaw.
Right.
So if it, in the stall, as you're lowering the nose, if the left wing drops, it's because you didn't have enough right rudder in, so you go more right rudder. If the right wing drops, it's because you had too much right rudder or not enough left rudder. So you hit opposite rudder. So if the left wing drops, you hit right rudder. If the right wing drops, you hit left rudder.
Right. Yeah, it drops pretty good on this one.
Yeah, and that's just because I didn't have enough rudder in. If I do that again with more rudder, it won't drop. But I'm going to give it a little more right rudder this time, and you'll see that it won't drop on the left side. It might actually drop on the right side. That was just about perfect. Notice how I didn't really want to drop a wing, so I had the right amount of rudder in. All right, now, while you got it here, what I want you to do now is, we're just going to glide here. I want you to trim it all the way nose up. So put the nose right on the horizon and trim it, hands off. Go ahead and give it all the trim you got.
Morning Tower, Lockheed 18097 is ready on 5, like a left turn out around southbound.
There you go.
Lockheed holding short of runway 5.
Now, if you can level the wings.
November Charlie 18097.
This is exactly the way this plane flies when the engine's completely out. 60 knots.
Lockheed
60 knots is our best glide speed in this airplane.
Okay, and that's nose all the way up.
Pretty much nose all the way up. In almost every single engine airplane you'll ever fly, if you lose an engine, you don't remember best glide speed, put the nose just below the horizon, just like this. In almost every single engine airplane, nose just below the horizon, that look will give you best glide speed.
Knots. Wow.
This is exactly how this plane flies if you lose the engine.
So find a place to land.
The very first thing you do if you lose an engine, pitch best glide speed. The second thing you do, find a place to land. Like Amelia Island Airport there.
Right.
I should say Fernandina Beach Airport. Or the beach, or whatever. You know, put it in the marsh if you have to. You're going to walk away from it.
Right.
And then you start trying to restart the engine. So you check your fuel, you make sure the mixture's all the way in, you make sure the carb heat's on, ignition switch is on both, and the master switch is on, and the mixture's full rich. Because if somebody pulls this out by mistake, shuts the engine off, all you got to do is push it in and it'll start again. So
the wind will start.
Yeah, it'll air start. Now, if it happens, if you get it slow enough, the prop will stop.
Right.
But then you just hit the starter, and then you just glide down and look for a place to land. I mean, that's all there is to it. And it'll glide a long way. We can't quite make it to Fernandina Beach Airport from here with this altitude, but we make it almost.
That right ahead?
Yep, that's Fernandina Beach Airport right there.
Okay.
But
so we wouldn't make that.
No, if we actually lost the engine right here, I'd put it on the golf course. I'll show you this golf course. Let me roll left here. Then if you look straight down here.
Okay.
I'd put it on that fairway right there.
Really?
Oh, yeah, the beach is probably not quite as good because people are walking on the beach.
Yeah.
But you can put it on that fairway with no problem. And there's not enough golfers on a given fairway at any given time where you couldn't like work around them.
Right.
So it'd be a piece of cake. Or you can put it on the driving range. Nobody's out on the driving range.
Now what would you do? You just kind of
circle down. Yep.
Circle down.
Yep. Circle down and then set it up just like you would on a pattern when you're doing pattern work. Circle down, then go downwind base final.
Right.
All right, sir. Let me retrim this, and I'm going to give it back to you. And you can make a left turn. We'll raise that left wing, make sure it's clear. Look behind you and under the wing.
All right.
If it's clear left, just say clear left, and make a left turn to 210 on the heading.
All right, clear left.
And we'll go, you can hold this altitude, this is fine. Anywhere between 2,000 and 2,500.
You set that 210?
Actually, make a left turn and head directly for the double bridges right that are underneath your left wing. You'll see them here in a minute.
Okay.
That's Craig Airport.
Okay, I see.
But we're going to go this way and then turn left so that we don't get into Mayport's airspace, because we're going to start descending. I'm going to show you how to get through in between Jacksonville's airspace and Mayport's without calling them if you don't want to call them. I'll show you here in a sec. You're heading perfect right now. If you drop the nose, see that wide waterway right there that you can barely see, but there's a little bridge that covers it.
Right.
At the further end, if you head just to the right-hand edge of that bridge from here, which is basically aiming at the center of Mill Cove, you'll stay right in between Mayport's airspace and Jacksonville International's.
Is that Jacksonville International right there?
That's Jackson International. We're about 12 miles from them.
Wow.
So 2 miles that way. If we're in between 1,200 and 4,000 feet, we're in their airspace. So it's kind of a little tight little chute here.
Now, what happened if you accidentally drifted into their airspace and you weren't paying attention?
Usually they'll just track you down and have you call them when you get on the ground, and they'll slap your hand, tell you don't do it again. These guys won't though. Mayport, the government, they get a little bit pissy about it. But usually, if you just nick their airspace or you nick Craig's airspace, they don't get upset. These controllers here, you got to practically kill somebody for them to write you up. But they're definitely going to want to talk to you because they're going to want to know, do you know what you did?
Right.
Do you know why it was wrong? And what are you going to do to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Right.
Right? So you want to avoid having that phone call. All right, so now, see the little bridge there? You see you got Blunt Island? You see how Blunt Island comes to a point?
Right.
Well, just before the point and down, there's a little bridge.
Okay.
On this waterway, this little wide waterway right here, you see the bridge?
Right.
Yeah, aim for... Actually, you see those groups of power lines up there in Mill Cove?
Going into the water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aim... There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets.
Right.
Aim for in between number 2 and number 3.
Weather conditions better than 5,005. Temperature 17, dew point 12, altimeter 3026. Visual approach runway 5 in use.
3026.
Be for aircraft advised direction of flight. Read back, hold short instructions. Northbound aircraft remain outside of Class Charlie airspace or contact Jack's approach on 124.9er. Notice runway 5 Happy's out of service. Advise us to contact you. Have information November.
November.
Craig Tower information November 1753 Zulu. Wind 010 at 9er. Weather conditions better than 5,005.
That's wind at 10 mile an hour?
010 at 9er. So it's coming out of 10 degrees at 9 knots.
586 Mike Alpha,
So you
this
look at
left
the
turn, you go back
smokestack,
to
see it's
Malone.
going that way?
Right.
So it's coming out of the
586 Mike Alpha, taxi to
northeast.
Malone, monitor ground
At
point
about
8 this
9
time,
knots.
please.
It's coming this way at about
Going that way. Craig Tower, Cessna 152, Sierra Juliet, 7 north, 2,500, landing November.
That's the 152 Sierra Juliet, Craig Tower. I'm not sure what the 8 is saying. We just changed to runway 5. Enter a left downwind runway 5. Report entering the downwind.
Down the beach, going over to Foley, Alabama, 5.
Report entering downwind for 5, left downwind for 5, 2 Sierra Juliet. I hesitate.
Craig, November 36 Bravo Mike with you to be entering a right downwind for runway 5.
River 36 Bravo Mike, Craig Tower. Roger, you can just enter the right base for runway 5 and report 3 south, please.
6 Mike, I'll report 3 south, right base on runway 5.
I hesitated because that guy was talking at the same time. So now here's this little bridge.
Okay, I see the bridge
right
now.
here.
Yeah.
You got to stay tucked fairly tight to it to stay out of their airspace. Like, so you're kind of aiming basically so that you're just over the western edge of that bridge.
Right.
If you go over to the other side of it, you're in Navy Jackson's airspace. Now, if you're above 2,500, you don't have to worry. We're going to start coming down now, right? So you can start bringing your nose down. And you see the runways now, Garfield?
I do.
They go like this.
Right.
Okay, this is the runway we're going to land on, coming back this way. Notice the wind is blowing that direction.
Right.
See the power plant?
Right.
So we're going to land into the wind. That's runway 5, and he told us to enter a left downwind, which means when we're flying parallel to the runway, downwind opposite the direction we're going to land, the runway's going to be on our left side.
Right.
So you hold this heading, and when you get to the just about to the Mill Cove there, we'll make a left turn and aim for the middle of that runway coming back this way.
Are we going to overfly the airport?
No, we're actually, well, yeah, we are. Yeah, we're going to overfly it. We're going to go over the middle of it, make a right turn, and we're going to make 2 lefts and land coming this way.
Okay.
So you can lower the nose a little bit. We'll start heading down to 1,000 feet. That's our pattern altitude.
Did I take some power out?
Yeah, you can bring the power, bring it back to like 2,000 or so.
Number 2 Mike Alpha, make right close traffic, report midfield.
Say that one more time for 542 Mike Alpha.
Number 2 Mike Alpha, make right close traffic, dispatch, report midfield.
Right close traffic, report midfield, 542 Mike Alpha.
Number 36 Bravo Mike, runway 5, clear line.
36 on Mike.
All right, now you can go ahead and make a left turn and aim right for the middle of the airport complex and level off at 1,000 feet. A beautiful day.
Yeah, it's really nice.
When you heading back north?
Sunday night.
Oh, that's right. You told me in your email.
Yeah. Yeah, Sunday night. I've been here for about 11 days, so
Had a
time
good
to get
visit?
back to work.
Did you have a good visit?
Oh yeah, it was nice. I love coming back home.
I love it here, man. We didn't know anybody when we moved here a year ago.
Mike Alpha, we're going to make this.
Oh, y'all only been here a year.
Yep, we moved here the day the Matthews Bridge got hit.
Number 2 Mike Alpha,
By
number 2
that,
to follow
by that
Navajo,
ship,
joining
we
in
moved
2
here
mile final runway
September
5, report
26th
sight.
last year.
We got that Navajo. Sorry, 542 Mike Alpha.
Number 2 Mike Alpha, number 2 runway 5, clear land.
Now you're saying right down the middle.
Yeah, the same.
Number 2 Sierra Juliet, your number 3 behind a Piper Archer, opposite downwind, the beam the
And runway 5's going
departure
this
under
way.
5.
Okay, we're looking for the Archer. We have the Archer, 2 Sierra Juliet.
Number 2 Sierra Juliet, number 3 runway 5, clear land.
Clear land 5, number 3, 2 Sierra Juliet. See the airplane just below the horizon?
I see him.
We're going to follow him in. So he's on the right downwind, meaning he's making right turns to land. We're going to stay on this side and be on the left downwind. So we're making left turns to land. So at a towered field, sometimes they'll bring you in on one side or the other.
Okay, so we're not going to be in his way.
No, because we have to follow him because he cleared us to land number 3 behind him. Here's number 1 right here. See him coming over the numbers?
I see him. Yeah, he's coming in to land now.
Yep. Now, go ahead and go ahead and make a right turn to parallel the runway.
Right now?
Yep, go ahead and bring your nose up and throttle, leave your throttle right where it is. I just want you to turn until you're flying parallel to our runway. And our dude,
Number 6 Bravo Mike, left
we're
Foxtrot,
following
contact
right there.
128.
Just about to come
Looks
over
like he's
295.
coming to us, though.
Yeah, he hadn't turned base yet. He's flying a real wide pattern. That's another rookie instructor teaching somebody out there. He's way too wide. So you just keep an eye on him. We're going to follow him in. You go ahead and bring your carb heat out now. And we'll leave the power where it is for now because normally I'd bring the power back a little more here, but we got to wait. We got to get behind him and hold your 1,000 feet. See him now coming underneath the wingtip? Oh, he's over the interstate. See him? He's right here. Right here.
Oh, I see him now.
All right, so now go ahead and bring your power back to 1,500 and make a left turn. Just pick something under the wing and turn for it. Whatever you see out there. And the before landing checklist is mixture rich, seatbelts and shoulder harnesses on, and then just carb heat, throttle, and flaps. All right, bring your wing up a little bit. All right, looking good. You can just go ahead and line it up with the runway.
Now I'm turning final.
Yep.
I was just on base.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, and he said report on final.
No, he just said he cleared us to land, so we don't have to report anything. He just wanted to make sure we were number 3. All right. Now go ahead and put in 10 degrees of flaps. You'll feel the nose want to come up a little bit.
Mike Alpha, left
Don't let
Bravo
it.
4, contact ground 112.8.
Left Bravo 4 over the ground, 542 Mike Alpha.
All right, put in another notch of
Mike
flaps.
Alpha is off at Bravo 4 with
There you
you
go.
over to Sterling.
542 Mike Alpha, still up tower, contact ground 112.8.
All right, now go ahead and put your hand on the throttle in case you need it. I want you to fly down right on that center line of that runway and pretend you're not going to land the airplane. We're just going to fly low.
Okay.
Okay? I'll show you how to land an airplane the right way. Just relax and fly it like you're not going to land it. Okay? You're just going to fly low. You're not going to let it touch the ground.
All right.
Craig Tower, Air Hawk 3.
are.
The power at 1500?
Not yet. Keep your nose down. Fly it like you're not going to land it. All right, now bring your throttle all the way back, but keep your nose down for good speed.
Rock 3, stand by for the
Now look down the runway and keep pulling it off the ground. Keep holding it off the ground so you don't want to land it. You're just going to keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. The longer you hold it off the ground, the better landing you'll make.